Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Zaron.
Elizabeth.
How are you?
Doing pretty well. I had a good day today.
You did?
How about you?
It was fun, exciting, relaxing?
Yeah, I read some cool stuff.
I like that.
Yeah, anytime I can air out my head with new facts, I'm always stoked.
God bless. I love that for you.
Yeah, how about you?
It was a good day.
Nice.
It was nice and productive.
Yeah.
And then I came here.
Sorry about that.
No, this is the highlight of my day, my week, my life. Do you know what's ridiculous?
I do. We recently lost Matthew Perry, the actor.
Yeah.
And before he passed, he wrote this memoir of his life.
Uh-huh.
And there's one story in the memoir that I find ridiculous and in a very loving way.
Yeah.
So, you ever wanted to steal a rock star's wife?
Not personally.
Matthew Perry did.
Oh, God.
Yes. He was, I guess, he had this short-lived sitcom with Valerie Bertinelli.
Oh, right.
The show was called Sydney.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was in 1990. It was a sitcom. Didn't last very long.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, well, anyway, he fell in love with her while they were filming that show, apparently. And she was married to Eddie Van Halen of Van Halen fame.
Yeah.
And in his memoir, The Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, he has this story where he says, and I quote, "I was obsessed with her and harbored elaborate fantasies about her leaving Eddie Van Halen and living out the rest of her days with me. I didn't stand a chance, of course. That said, there was one night I was over at Valerie and Eddie's house, just hanging out and gazing at Valerie, trying to make her laugh. As the night progressed, it was clear that Eddie had enjoyed the fruits of the vine a little too hard. One more time, and eventually he just passed out, not 10 feet from us, but still, this was my chance."
Oh, God.
If you think I didn't actually have a chance in hell, you'd be wrong, dear reader. Valerie and I had a long, elaborate makeout session.
Ew.
It was happening. Maybe she felt the same way I did. I told her I'd thought about doing that for a long time, and she'd said it right back to me.
Ew.
Now, she never mentioned the incident ever again to anybody.
Well, and I'm sorry, but the kiss and tell aspect of that,
totally.
Come on, dude.
But then when the memoir was released, she did acknowledge on TikTok that, yes, she did have, because I think at that point Eddie Van Halen had passed, so it was like, okay,
sure,
I won't hurt his feelings.
How crass of him.
Right? I know, but trying to get with a rock star's wife, it's just wild to me.
So
and he's 10 feet away. It's like a high school thing.
I know.
It's just always and then, fruit of the vine, a little too.
Oh, God.
So there you go. Ridiculous, yes?
R.I.P. to 2/3 of them.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Do you want to know what else is ridiculous?
Please, I'm here for it.
Faking it until you're making it.
Ooh.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous.
Oh, I know you heard that.
I totally heard it. We've talked about a few dudes before, it never seems to be ladies, who either faked their deaths or created new identities and started over as someone else.
Doesn't tend to be a thing that the ladies do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do, but
they get away with it. That's what I think happens.
That's why we're not talking about it. Yeah,
exactly. They don't end up on this show.
And for some, this whole thing is really tempting, you know, and for a smaller sum, the temptation is too strong to ignore. They do it.
Yeah, totally.
I'm fascinated by the psychology behind this.
How so?
It's not when they're running away from debt or justice.
Sure.
That's just cowardice.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when they just want to be someone they aren't.
Ah.
When they're so unhappy with their reality that they ditch it and create this false reality in which to live, the fake real. Mm-hmm. So I have a Florida man.
Like Fred DeMera, the guy who pretended to be a doctor.
Yeah. I mean, that amount of time that he spent, he probably could have just
become a doctor.
To medical school. Yeah. So I got this Florida man.
Okay. Ooh, already starts good.
He didn't want to be a Florida man.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. He was a Florida man who wanted to be a Cambridge man, a landed man, a fancy lad.
Of course.
Yeah. Zaron, close your eyes.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. No.
I was coming at me hot.
Zaron, I want you to meet Charles Albert Stopford III.
Is that his real name?
Yeah.
Charles, that's a Florida man name.
That sounds like a proper English fancy lad
I can see why he's I was born in the wrong family.
Oh, nay. Old Chuck, he was born in 1962 in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
With that name.
Home of the Epcot.
His dad, Charles Albert Stopford Jr., was a Methodist minister. And there was a big old group of Stopfords, 7 boys and 2 girls.
Whew.
They had a litter.
Yeah.
Charles III, he's the eldest.
So I know what their nighttime activities were.
Oh, yeah. So then there's this big family living in a house provided by the Methodist Church in Orlando in the 60s.
Okay.
What a time to be alive.
Seriously.
Charles.
And to be like church funded?
Sure. Charles, feisty kid.
Okay.
Super feisty. He was funny and like if a little off color sometimes, and he loved practical jokes. So you know that he went to like a joke shop aimed at tourists, and his awakening was getting one of those buzzers for your hand.
Oh yeah, the handshake
supposed
buzzer.
To like shock people when you shake their hand. The problem.
Of course, you know I had one of those.
I knew you did. I could have guessed. The problem with those is that they're primarily used by kids. And like they have very few opportunities to shake hands with people.
There's the thing.
So they can't just sit and wait for it to happen. So they go around asking to shake everyone's hands.
That's how
And then they got like this big disc in their palm. It's super obvious in a tiny
and a
hand.
metal ring around the finger.
And a metal ring. Yeah. Anyway, Charles the jokester. So when he was in his teens.
Also, slipping a whoopee cushion under somebody is difficult because either the seat isn't the right height because you've put it there already, or you try to just throw it in right at the last minute.
And then if they block the outlet,
you
then
don't hear
pops.
anything. Yeah, exactly.
But I'll tell you when it's done right, payoff.
Thing of beauty.
Chef's kiss. So good. Charles, he's a teen. He stuck to my grandma's motto of act like you know.
It's the way to be.
And he snuck onto a U.S. military base.
Wow.
Yeah.
As a teen.
Yeah, and he breezed his way into the officers' club, in fact.
Oh, I bet people thought he was like an officer's son.
Well, no, I don't know. He was so confidently behaved, and he was like, you know what? I'm supposed to be here. How you doing?
Sure.
Aye, yes, sir. Another time, he dressed up as a fake DEA agent in 70s Orlando.
Wow.
He got a fake gun and everything, and then he went and shook down a local drug dealer and confiscated his cash.
For real?
Son of a preacher man.
Dude, that's the move.
Yeah.
That's my kind of criminal right there. See? No one cares if you're robbing drug dealers.
Exactly. So while all this tomfoolery is going on, Charles was growing more and more enamored of the United Kingdom.
Oh.
Well, England, to be precise.
Yeah, I figured.
He had the Union Jack flag, a.k.a. the butcher's apron, on his bedroom wall. Was it the Who, the Sex Pistols? Who radicalized him?
Seriously. Who was it, Elizabeth?
Turns out it was the Beatles.
Oh, Beatlemania strikes again.
The Gateway Band. And Monty Python.
Oh, wow. Of course, with the joking. Yes,
right.
I could see that.
So he'd hang out in his room and listen to Beatles albums, watch Monty Python sketches, just soak up the Britannia of it all.
Rural Britannia.
It's so much so that he practiced his English accent and honed it into something impressive.
Did you ever do that when you were a kid?
No.
You didn't? Did you ever practice any accents as a kid?
No.
Oh, my sister and I practiced all sorts of accents. Unfortunately, though, it was
surprise.
picking the wrong models to emulate. So using I don't know, the Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins British accent's gonna get you nowhere.
Exactly. Well, his dad got a kick out of his accent.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And he joined in, and they would prpractice the accent together. And
so he plays to an audience every Sunday.
Exactly.
He's a performer.
Exactly. He's show folk. So Charles got so good at it that he would convince substitute teachers that he was English.
Really?
And he said the reason he was at this Orlando school is because his dad was this well-regarded scientist on temporary loan to NASA.
Huh. It's a good story to tell.
I'd have worked the Disney angle, but that's just me. Although I would guess then that people would be asking for tickets and
it raises
access.
more questions.
Yeah, exactly. So I take it back. I would not work the Orlando Disney angle.
NASA sounds impressive without going, can I get in?
Right. So that was Charles until he was 16. And then things changed for him. It was 1978, and his preacher dad stepped out on his mom.
Oh.
Yeah. He actually ran off with a lady from the church.
Of course. Yeah. Where else do you think he's going to find people?
So he left his wife and kids high and dry, took off.
Oh,
left them in the parsonage and took off with the new gal.
Are you for real?
I'm totally for real. So
damn, that's cold-blooded.
Since none of the remaining family members...
dear family, forgive me. I'm out.
None of the remaining family members were Methodist preachers.
Okay.
So they got evicted from said parsonage.
Of course.
The church congregation took pity on them. They tried to help get them on their feet, but like
marry her off to somebody.
My God, yeah, they're like, here's meet the deacon. The pain and the humiliation of that.
Can you imagine?
So Charles, he got a job for a little while at Disney World.
This is like the late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s. And he had that amazing English accent.
Of course.
So he scored a gig in Epcot Center's United Kingdom Pavilion.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
Yeah. Then when he graduated high school.
Way to make it work. You get paid for that accent work.
Exactly. Don't hide your light under a bushel.
Never.
He graduates in 1980 and joins the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah. So remember how he loved pranks and such?
Oh, yeah. How can I forget that?
Please don't ever forget that. Well, he escalated.
Good for him.
He thought he'd make a funny, and he put an explosive, what I'm guessing is like an M80 firecracker or something.
Yeah, it's usually
into the tailpipe of a car.
Ooh.
And
rough
it's
choice.
a car belonging to a member of the deep state. It belonged to the manager of a Burger King.
It's not the deep state.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
No Kings, Elizabeth. No Burger Kings.
I thought the Burger King like controlled everything.
No, you're thinking of Carl's Jr.
Well, have it your way. Oh, okay. Well, it totaled the car.
Really?
Yeah, blew it right up. Like, oops. So this is like...
I was going to say, that's the danger.
That's the danger of it.
You put it in a combustible...
And you cross a Burger King manager?
Oh, yeah. They're going to track you down.
Oh, black helicopters over your house at night?
You're still going with the deep state.
I'm wedded to it.
I like your beliefs.
I'm wedded to it.
It's more fun.
Like, you'll hear a click on the phone line. You're like, wait, what was that when you're talking?
You heard me, Mr. Hoover. I'm going to go on through with it.
Your friend on the other line, like, what are you talking about? No, I swear I heard a cook.
You heard that right?
All right, so
who's behind us in the car?
This is before the Beverly Hills Cop banana in the tailpipe thing.
Of course, yeah. He's a
trailblazing maverick.
And also, he didn't do the thing where you back up the exhaust, which then caused the car to bog and do that.
No,
he blew up the gases.
Blew up the interior of the So the stunt got him attention. That's for sure.
I bet it did.
He got arrested.
That kind of attention.
He got charged with arson, criminal mischief, and explosives possession.
Oof.
And the explosive charge is what they went with, and that earned him 60 days behind bars and then probation. And
Good thing he did a British accent, not an Irish accent. They'd be going, now come over here, boy. Yeah, little IRA kid.
Oh, honey, yeah. Needless to say, he got kicked out of the Navy.
Yeah, I bet.
They didn't like that.
Yeah, they wanted to have you do their ordinances, not your own.
Exactly. But in July of 1982, he violated his probation. I don't know how. Like maybe he didn't check in or something.
Maybe he voted.
Or could be.
He owned a gun.
Either way, he went into a Burger King.
There you go. He went into Burger King.
Yeah, and the Burger King spies, like someone lowered their newspaper. They're like, spoke into an earpiece. We got him.
I love your commitment to the bit.
Condor's on the move. All right, so they revised the agreement. Now he had to meet weekly with his probation officer.
Oof.
Plus, he had to go to college.
That was the punishment?
Yeah, I guess.
We're going to make a good man out of you?
But January of the next year, Charles is totally not having it. He went out and he got a passport, expedited. He threw some clothes in a suitcase, grabbed his other ID stuff like his driver's license, birth certificate, all that sort of thing.
The real ones.
And he bought a one-way ticket out of the United States.
Okay.
It's like probation's one thing, but forcing him to go to community college to better himself was a bridge too far.
It was like, the hell with that. I ain't cracking no books.
He didn't tell his family that he was on the run.
Why would he?
No, he told him he got a job.
Oh, he did tell them something.
Yeah, he's like, I got a tech job, guys. So, I mean, it's 82 and it's like the beginning of hooray for computers.
So people are now aware of Apple and stuff.
And he's like, so it's a tech job, but it's overseas. Bye. Gotta go.
It's overseas.
Yeah.
In
so
France.
They bought it because they'd hear from him. They'd get postcards from him from like these far-flung places across the globe. Like, oh, my job's great. I'm loving life. He reached out to them from Germany, Spain, Italy, Greece, Egypt, South Africa, Japan, and of course his favorite place, the United Kingdom.
Wait, did he really send postcards?
He legitimately went to these places.
Good
he just
for him.
traveled the world. Sometimes he sent pictures to his mom. Like she's trying to process the whole thing. Like her family was sort of disintegrating in her hands at this point.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, she's still got younger kids.
She's got younger kids. Yeah, because he's the oldest of the kids.
Totally.
She later told ABC News, quote, I know he was upset about the divorce between his father and I. That upset him quite a bit, and I think he wanted to get away from it. From Israel, Germany, some of the English countryside, we always wait for him to send the pictures, and we would always look at them.
She's sweet.
She's so sweet.
Do you think he was on ships, working his way around?
It could be. It could be. We will never know.
Yeah, I was just curious.
But then one day his mom gets this little package. Not photos, not a postcard. Just as Lost magazine put it, Charles's, quote, passport, birth certificate, social security card, driver's license, Disney World ID, and every other known piece of documentation proving the existence of Charles Albert Stopford III. And after that, the postcards stopped coming.
Did he have any letter explaining what he was doing?
I don't
Otherwise,
think so.
that's like,
Just...
did he join the French Foreign Legion?
Right.
Was he abducted?
Perhaps.
What happened?
Burger King?
Was it the king of burgers?
Was it the king? So nothing by post after that, like no tales of cool adventures. But then in 1986, he did something more than right. He called.
Good for him.
You wanted
to put your mother out of
Yeah,
worry.
and he wanted to let his family know, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually married, he told them.
Okay.
He and his wife were expecting a child, a daughter.
Good for him,
And
I think.
Also, he'd changed his name. So his brother, Wesley Stopford, later said, we didn't think anything of it at the time. People do that.
Yeah, people change their names.
Yeah, change their
The
names.
vice president changed his name like 3-4 times.
That's right. So, who's to say? His name now was Christopher Buckingham.
Wow, bro, you can't name yourself after the palace.
Well, he called
That's like a Disney name. That's like a name for a cartoon character.
He called his family in 1986, but it was actually 3 years earlier that he'd done the whole name change thing. So it was right after he got to England.
Okay.
He was done trotting the globe. He wanted to settle down in what he thought of as his spiritual home.
Sure, I feel that.
Yeah, so he went to the government archive and started searching. And I'm sure you know where this is going. It's a classic identity theft move. He scanned through birth and death records, and he was looking specifically for a boy child who died, as he would later put it, at 0. Died at 0.
You're just supposed to do it before they get a social security card.
Yeah,
or the equivalent in England.
He needed to get the birth certificate of a boy who died in infancy so he could assume that identity. He found a bunch of kids in the right age range with the name Christopher Buckingham.
It totally works. I know people who've done this.
Yeah, and he liked the name, so he picked one of the Christopher Buckingham,
So
specifically
he picked a Buckingham. Wow.
Christopher Edward Buckingham.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the one he picked.
I shouldn't laugh. My mother once dated a guy named Buckingham.
Well, there it is.
And I almost
You could have been.
As she used to tease me
could have been
after
Jimmy
my parents got
Buckingham.
divorced. You're lucky. You almost were Zaron Buckingham. I'm like, you would not have named me after the other guy.
Could have been Jimmy Buckingham. You
There
could
you
have been
go.
Christopher Buckingham.
Yeah.
This
Look
would
at
be
me.
so weird right now. The real Christopher Edward Buckingham was born on December 24th, 1962 in London.
Wow, Christmas baby.
Yeah, he died about 6 months later while on vacation with his parents.
You know, Christopher means gift of Christ. Like they really went through on it.
Well, that's probably why they went with it.
Yeah.
Edward and Audrey, his parents, it's so tragic to lose this infant on vacation, like beyond. And the woo-woo in me thinks that the worst mojo of all is to play around with something like that, to take that name, but whatever, that's just me. Anyway, he put in...
Is there any child passing away that you would think you could take their name and it wouldn't pass on some bad woo-woo?
No.
Okay.
Don't do that.
So no name changes for you then?
None. No, okay. I'm dying with the one I got. So he put in a request for the birth certificate. A week later, it's his. And now he just had to get the rest of the pieces in place. He applied for a national insurance number.
Smart.
Then a driver's license.
Good man.
And then a passport.
Yep. Bing, bang,
in
boom.
all, it took him like 8 months to get this all together. Yeah. And he later told Lost magazine, quote, I relied on the inconsistencies in the system. I just filled in the forms and sent them through the post. So just, plain as day. And so it was that on June 23rd, 1983, Charles Stopford III ceased to exist and was reborn as Christopher Buckingham. Let's take a break for some ads. And when we return, we're going to find out what life has in store for Chris.
Yeah.
Zaron.
Elizabeth.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I was just enjoying some Burger King.
You stopped at
I tried to make you
on the
nervous.
way here? You're making me
Where'd
really
you get the burgers? Are you part of
Did
the
you
deep state?
Put the wrapper outside in the garbage before I say anything further. So it's wired.
Oh, I know.
Like
Each
RFID,
one is, right?
Like, yes. And nano robots in the milkshakes. It's crazy. Do they
Now
do
in my
milkshakes
blood.
there?
Yeah, they do.
Sure, I'm sure they do. Anyway, so Charles Stopford, he became Christopher Buckingham.
Okay.
So long, Orlando. Hello, Southern Bavaria.
Oh, that's where he goes.
Yeah. Buckingham, he didn't use his new English identity to stay in England.
Smart.
He got a job in Germany.
That's really smart, actually.
And when I first read Southern Bavaria, I thought it said Southern Belgravia, and I hadn't heard such a parsing of the posh London neighborhood before, but what do I know? And it turns out very little. But it also turns out that he was in Southern Bavaria, Germany.
That's a really smart move because they're going to have even harder levels of trying to check.
Yeah,
I mean, wow.
So
I'm impressed.
He got a job at a dishwasher.
How do you end up on this show? Wow.
Well, you'll find out. He got a job as a dishwasher in a cafe.
Okay.
At like a tourist resort. And that's where he met a lovely young Canadian who was also working there, Jody Doe. That's her real name.
Dear Doe?
Yeah, it's not like, sometimes they run out of Jane Does and they just,
they start naming
unidentified bodies.
Sally
Jody Doe.
Jody Doe.
No, that's her name. So
Opie Doe.
he told all sorts of tall tales about his life, inventing a backstory as he went. He said that he was originally from England. I mean, thus the accent.
Of course.
His dad was a diplomat, he said. Tragically, both of his parents had died in a plane crash in Egypt when he was a boy.
Should have gone with Kenya, but go on.
So you can't meet them.
In Kenya.
In Kenya. Inja.
Yeah.
So you can't ask him anything. You can't meet him.
Of course, yeah. No, they're gone.
And you know what? He's a citizen of the world. He's like, I've traveled all over, which he had. He told her
I'm a rebel, Dottie.
Exactly, a loner, a rebel. He told her that before this Bavarian dishwashing adventure, that he had lived on a kibbutz in Israel for a few months.
Okay.
So, she's sold. Soon enough, they're married. She's like, I love this. They stuck around Bavaria working at these various alpine hotels and resorts. They kind of became townies, I suppose. In July of 1986, their daughter Lindsay was born.
Okay.
Lindsay Buckingham. I love that for her. She'll be someone's silver spring one day. So that was about the time that he last...
I mean, they had to know.
They had to know.
Fleetwood Mac is
86.
out and kicking it. And
86.
Lindsay Buckingham, why would you do that to your daughter?
So that was about the time that he last reached out to...
Wouldn't it be hilarious if they didn't know? And then they found out when she's 4 or 5 and she's memorized her name. They're like, who?
Who?
Fleetwood what?
It could be.
I don't listen to that
Perhaps.
type of rock music.
They just listen to classical music.
Yeah.
They don't know
all about the Bach, that Bach.
Yeah. So she's born, and that's around the time that he calls his mom.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing.
And so when the baby's a year old, they move to London, and actually to like a grubby studio flat just outside London.
Okay.
London's crazy expensive.
London's big too.
And it was then too. Yeah, it is big. Buckingham was doing his best to work his way up. So he got a job, an IT gig at Reuters.
Oh, so he really is in tech.
Yeah, I guess he does like computers. And it's a solid job.
Sure.
And his wife gave birth to their son, Edward.
McFleetwood Buckingham.
Edward McFleetwood Buckingham.
So Edward. So he named him after former kings.
Yeah, but isn't that he just sounds
Edward.
British.
Sure,
it sounds
it
good.
sounds very British.
But I think that was also his fake middle name.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But they called him Teddy.
Teddy Buckingham. Teddy Bucks.
Teddy Bucks.
So he worked his way up through Reuters little by little.
Okay.
And he went from general IT to like computer security. He just rose through the ranks. And he was finally able to buy a house for his family in Northampton, between London and Birmingham, pretty much.
Okay.
And there they lived happily until 1996. Things weren't working between Christopher and Jody.
Oh, no.
And so they separated.
Oh.
Yeah. Jody had been growing
Did
suspicious.
he meet a woman at church and decide to act out the trauma of his own childhood?
Jody was suspicious of her husband. Like he'd disappear for days at a time. And he was so secretive about his life before they met. He didn't have any keepsakes or mementos,
Pictures.
Nothing. And he didn't like to talk about his past or offer specifics. So she started digging. So first, she put an ad in the Times of London, which is like, you're hoping he doesn't see it? I don't know. She detailed her husband's basic biographical details and asked for any further information anyone might have.
That's an odd move.
That's bold. But maybe she's like, I know he doesn't read. He doesn't know how to read.
Yeah, he's not a newspaper guy.
He never learned to read.
I do respect that, like you, she wants answers. She's like, I'm going to do some digging.
So then she reached out to the UK Home Office because she's like, I want to know information about his dad's diplomatic career.
Oh, right.
And then she contacts the Egyptian embassy.
Oh, no. She went to consulates.
Yeah. She's like, I want all the information available about this plane crash that claimed these people's lives. She contacted the schools he said he went to. He said he went to Harrow and Cambridge. And like, can I get the student records? And they're like, I don't have anything. So
would you have gone this far?
Oh, yeah. If I'm starting to get
This
suspicious...
is the beginning.
It's the
Sarah, this
animal
is the base
brain.
level.
She has to listen to the animal brain telling her. She goes to the local cop and is like, can you run a background check on my husband? And they're like, they run it. No secret crimes, no hidden side family, no creeping debt. There's nothing is the problem. He didn't exist on paper prior to 1983. So there's no records of anything. Jody's just at a loss. So it's not like there are records that disprove anything. There's just nothing.
Do you think that part of her thought that maybe he was like from some fabulously wealthy family and he just didn't want anyone to find out?
I don't know.
Or do you think she was just suspicious in the negative?
I'm probably just suspicious in the negative.
Okay.
I feel like he didn't feed her enough breadcrumbs to make her suspicious in the positive in that sense.
Well, I mean, having a father as an ambassador in England, that suggests like, oh, you come from landed stuff.
Well,
or
not always.
But at
but
least people that may be connected to that.
True. Well, so, it could have been, I'm not sure.
She's thinking about getting divorced. Maybe she's like, before I divorce him,
I do that,
I need to find out what I'm divorcing.
So the divorce gets finalized, and then she just honestly gave up. She's like, she stopped looking for more information. What's the point? Good riddance to bad rubbish. So after the divorce, Buckingham moved to Switzerland, and he was an executive now. So no ski cafe dishwashing gigs for him. No, he started a bunch of LLCs because that's what business guys do.
Sure.
Business things.
I've heard that.
They weren't pass-through LLCs that were just for him. They were these like big companies, at least on paper. And they were rife with corporate officers. So like men such as Richard James Thomas, David Allen Thomas, David Robert Allen.
They all got first names?
Paul David Keene.
Oh, there's finally a last name.
There was a German Hans-Peter Schmidt. And a fellow named Alexei Romanov, no relation. Who were these guys, Zaron?
Who, Elizabeth, were these guys with these fictitious sounding names?
Great question, Dave. This will come as a major shock to you. They were all fake.
No.
Yeah, they didn't exist.
They sounded so real.
They only existed in Buckingham's imagination. Well, okay, one was real. Paul David Keene. He was actually a friend of Buckingham's.
Only one with a last name other than Schmidt.
He was a fellow computer nerd. They'd been roommates at one time. And the other interesting thing about Paul David Keene was that he'd been dead for years at this point.
Oh.
So he used his dead friend's name.
Wow.
He loves that.
He's all about that.
Has no
Are
worries.
They dead?
In no way does he have the woo-woo.
This will fit well into my plans.
Yeah. He's very Mesopotamian of like, this is, our lives are over. That's it. There's nothing. There's no,
It's Mesopotamian. I love that.
So we got Buckingham divorced, living in Switzerland, starting all manner of fake companies. Why not go for broke? Why not gild the lily? Why not take it to the next level?
What is the next level?
I love that question because I was going to ask the same thing. Bestowing upon himself the title of Lord. He started calling himself Lord Buckingham.
Of OBE status.
According to Lost magazine, he said, quote, he had acquired it through purchase of what he described as several small manorial properties scattered across England. At first, it was a bit of a joke, he explained. I thought it would be a hoot to start calling myself Lord Buckingham. But what I noticed was, using the title, you got the respect and the consideration that should be due.
Lord Buckingham also sounds like some dirty landed property owner who partied with Ben Franklin in the Hellfire Club.
That,
right?
It's spot on. Yeah. Here's the thing. And it's tied to the culture he loves so much. There was then, perhaps, maybe not so much now, but still to a degree, a certain deference given to those with titles in England.
Oh, 100%, 1,000%, a million percent.
Here's a little aside for you.
They love a title there.
Yeah, well, there's this detective book series, the Inspector Lindley novels.
Okay.
And they made him into a TV series that has since been rebooted. I haven't watched any of the shows.
I think you've mentioned this Lindley
Big shocker.
to me before.
But I started getting into the books a little while back
yeah.
because I ran out of Michael Connelly books to read. Anyway, the first few were good, but I had to stop because I felt like the female characters are basically tortured in one way or another throughout their plot lines.
Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah, it felt like a little anti-woman. It was a woman writer, but whatever.
Still, that doesn't,
It was not a pleasant
doesn't
read.
guarantee anything.
And it became a little too bleak for me, which is hard to imagine, but yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Your bleak scale is much deeper
I
than
wasn't
mine.
feeling it. I've read Val McDermid is that's bleak Scottish mystery writer. Anyway, so your mileage may vary and I may be off base. Anyway, tomato, to each their own. Cum si, cum sa, howdy doody. The Inspector Lindley in the stories is the 8th Earl of Asherton.
Okay, 8th Earl of Asherton.
He doesn't need to work. He just loves justice. He toodles around in like a classic sports car, and he wears bespoke suits, and his partner is like a tough-talking East Ender lady and whatever, and yin and yang,
Did
tomato,
he give his
tomato.
family house to the National Trust? He's like, wait, now people...
They don't have to. They're not suffering like that. They have the palatial
Oh,
home.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the books, when people dismiss Lindley thinking he's just some cop and can't tell him what to do, like sometimes he has to bust out who he really is, meaning his title, and then they like pee all over themselves and kowtow and do whatever he wants. And I have issue with that mainly because I feel like his accent would give that away immediately.
You would think.
Yeah.
Unless he's putting on a fake accent.
I also felt like he didn't do it enough. He didn't smack him down. Like some of these fools need to be taken down a notch. Like, do you know who I am?
You like a good hierarchy.
Oh, yeah. The reason I mention is that there's deference paid to the landed gentry.
Completely.
So titles get respect and like a lot of latitude.
The whole thing about there are betters.
There are betters. You can have weird behaviors.
You can do whatever you
all
want.
the English eccentrics.
Oh,
and,
yeah. You can lick a dog's face.
you know, they could and they would and they should. So it may have been like a hoot for Buckingham to call himself Lord, but if you want to get away with like crimes or bad behavior, title game is the way to go.
Yeah, for real.
You know?
Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how do I get a title?
Well, but it got me wondering about Buckingham's accent. So it was an Orlando homebrew accent.
Yes, exactly.
Like cobbled together from Monty Python and Paul McCartney and like God knows who else.
He's probably doing Graham Chapman. I think he was the richest of Monty Python.
Oh, yeah. I would. So like in the U.S. and basically anywhere else in the world, accents are regional, but they're also, class.
In England, completely.
Scale.
A huge factor.
Well, and in the South, too.
Same thing, yeah. Good
you
point.
see that, too.
But that's very inspired by England.
True. So I'm curious to know what accent he had and like how convincing it was, but he must have like honed it to a good degree to get as far as he did. Anyway.
Maybe he was watching a lot of PBS.
Probably.
Like the good shows.
Mystery.
Yeah.
Hi, Claudius.
Yeah. Anything with a big house.
So he started living like Lord Buckingham and acting like he knew.
Yes.
So he got fine stationery with the Buckingham coat of arms. He rented an apartment in Germany, and he explained to the owner that it wasn't for him. He was a lord. He had lots of money and property and things. He was renting the apartment as a place to store some of the furniture from his castle in England. Because, I guess the furniture was studying abroad. Or, I don't know, needed an extent. Why would you put your furniture in a German apartment? Whatever.
I would just say it's for my guests, but, that's too simple.
Yeah, it's too simple. Either way, he was living his life as this English lord, bouncing between Switzerland and Germany. And in 2001, he got a job, not as a Scotland Yard detective, but as an IT security consultant at an insurance company in Switzerland. And then the next year, tragedy struck.
Ooh.
He was on a road trip back from Northampton. I guess he went to see the kids. He was in France and he got rear-ended. And the collision shoved his car forward and he slammed into the brick wall of a toll booth.
Oof.
Horrible. So he got his skull crushed in the accident and he went into a coma.
Oh.
For months, he's in this hospital in France. And then when he was awake and stable and like able to be moved, they took him to a Swiss hospital. And it was there that he started dating his nurse, the Swiss woman, Anita Keller.
Really acting like a lord now.
Oh, yeah. He
Dates his nurse.
He pocketed like a good settlement as a result of the accident.
Okay.
So he recovered and continued his life as Lord Buckingham, now with a Swiss nurse on his arm. Life going along swimmingly.
This guy has amazing luck.
He
other than the whole coma
thing. He
thing.
had some like mild after effects from the accident, but nothing that interfered with his like day-to-day life.
Okay.
He was Lord Buckingham. And while the accident was traumatic, it didn't stop him from driving back and forth to England occasionally.
Yeah.
Easy enough. So he goes to Calais.
What if he was like one of those guys, like people have head wounds and then they get like the accent from somewhere else? What if he got an American accent back and he couldn't stop doing it?
That would be incredible.
The irony. All right, so he's in Calais.
Yeah, so he would like go to Calais in France. He puts his car on the ferry, pops over to Dover.
I've done that. It's a good
toodles around
ride.
the motherland.
Totally.
Oh yeah, you've done it?
I did on the, what do you call it, the hovercraft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like a hovercraft ferry, basically.
Yeah. Well, and it was fun for him too, tootling around. But that changed for him on the afternoon of January 15th, 2005. Zaron,
yes.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
I want ads and I want them now. And when we come back, we'll talk about January 15th, 2005. Yeah. Zaron.
Elizabeth.
Zaron.
Elizabeth.
January 15th,
Yes,
2005.
2005.
Let's go there.
Okay, let's
Zaron,
go there.
Close your eyes.
Oh, you did sneak it up on
I
me.
did it. I want you to picture it.
Eyes are closed.
It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, January 15th, 2005. You are Detective Constable David Sprigg, a police officer at the port of Dover in England. You are the eyes and ears at this busy port. You're sitting at your desk listening to the latest hits on BBC One radio. Girls Aloud, Robbie Williams, Destiny's Child, Green Day, Gwen Stefani, and one tune you particularly like these days, You Can Do It by Ice Cube featuring Mac 10 and his toy. You often find yourself singing to yourself, you can do it, put your back into it. That's your 21st century keep calm and carry on. Don't stop, get it. It's so inspiring. Suddenly, there's a knock at your door. You reach over and you switch off the radio, then you call out, come in. 2 members of the UK Special Branch enter your office. Good blokes, they work here with you at the border station. Elite forces them. The tall one tells you that a passenger with a British passport checked in earlier that day at the port of Calais in France. Okay. He was boarding the car ferry headed this way. His information was plugged into the system and raised an alert. Seems the information on the passport matched an entry in the UK Register of Deaths. Got a dead man coming through. The man, Christopher Buckingham, apparently died in infancy in 1963, 4 months shy of his first birthday. His passport had been flagged a couple years back in a routine run of active passports against the records of births and deaths. It should have been revoked then. Curious, you tell them. You all know what this means, fake identity. The Special Branch fellows tell you that he boarded the ferry and would be arriving in Dover momentarily. Care to join us, they ask. You grab your jacket and head out to the inspection point with the Special Branchers. You pull 2 port policemen aside and give them a rundown. The car, the man, the story. They know to pull him aside as soon as he rolls off the boat. And that's what happens. You all see an aggressively nondescript white guy with brown hair cheerfully pull his car over to the inspection area. You watch as an officer speaks with the man. The man speaks and then nods, granting approval for the officer on the passenger side of the car to open the door and remove things from the front seat. He does so and walks the materials over to you. There's a Swiss driver's license, a ferry ticket in the name of Air Buckingham, a photocopy of his British passport, and a sheaf of blank letterhead emblazoned with a coat of arms above the phrase, "From the office of Lord Buckingham." The officer tells you that the man says he's a member of the House of Lords. Seemed a little surprised to be stopped, but happy to help. The man said he hadn't attended a session of the House of Lords since moving to Switzerland some years ago. You walk over to the computer positioned at a tall table beside you. You type away, searching for Lord Buckingham in the list of members of the House of Lords. Nothing. You open Google and tap, tap, tap. The tall guy from Special Branch asks you, anything? You've got 1 hit on your search. You tell him that. Well, what does it say? He asks you. It's a pedigreed cat. Bring him to my office, you tell the officers, and they head back to the building. Don't stop, get it, you think to yourself. You can do it. Okay, Zaron.
I put my back into it.
You put your back into it. Zaron, when you, or rather Detective Constable Sprigg, questioned Buckingham, he swore his passport wasn't a fake. Sprigg asked him all sorts of questions about his life, his past, and Buckingham's answers were a mess. He couldn't nail down where he went to school.
Oh,
like he forgot.
Gotta say Eton. Move it on.
Right? No, but then he threw out some names, but then he couldn't remember. Like, was he born at home or in a hospital?
Well, he was young.
Which you would know.
He was very young, Elizabeth.
He said he got his title because he owned or inherited 4 manorial titles.
Okay, mattered.
Yeah, but he couldn't name them all.
Look,
he didn't know all his titles.
That's kind of sus.
And he was just vague about everything. He had a German passport, which he said was because of his mom's ancestry. And then he said that the Swiss wanted to give him citizenship because of his, quote, special skills in computer security. He told Sprigg that he just hadn't gotten around to applying for it yet. It's just like these little fun facts. And then he told the story that he'd given lots of people. His dad was a diplomat in Egypt. Parents died in a plane crash in Egypt when he was a teen. Like, sure, Jan. Sprigg's like, you are full of it. And upon investigation, the story totally fell apart. So he got charged with using false information to obtain a passport. And he got out on bail on one condition. He had to come back the next week for further questioning.
Okay.
Sure, he said, and then he left.
I'll be there.
Yeah, during that week...
Write down where it is.
The investigation continued. So the special branch sent that Lord Buckingham letterhead over to the Royal College of Arms, which is the official record keeper of all the British heraldry. Yeah. So they took a look at it, and they determined that the title Lord Buckingham belonged to an extinct lineage. And in fact, it died out with the second Duke of Buckingham in 1687. Long lost son.
I was going to say.
So Sprigg, he went about trying to track down all of the school records, at least, and come to find out that the school that he said he went to didn't exist. And then he reached out to the Home Office. Was Buckingham's dad a diplomat? Did he die in a plane crash? And they're like, well, the dad didn't exist and neither did the plane crash. So everything's bogus. And now this guy is cut loose and he's out there doing, who knows
Lord
what.
knows what, yeah.
Lord Buckingham knows what. But he wasn't Lord Buckingham. There is no Lord Buckingham. So who is this character? And would he come back like he promised to? Or had he figured out a way to weasel out of the country and onto the continent? Surprise. Buckingham actually came back the next week.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he think he was going to be able to schmooze and finesse
I think
her?
he felt like, I can keep up this ruse. Sprigg laid everything out. All the lies, all the missing information. Buckingham's only response, no comment. And with that, he's arrested again, but then he's out on bail the next day once again. He went to court in October of 2005, and they charged him with that lying to obtain a passport. He asked the judge if he could be allowed to go to Switzerland, because that's where he had a safety deposit box, and in the box was all the proof anyone would ever need to understand and believe that he was 100% Christopher Edward Buckingham.
Who are you going to trust, the internet or your lying eyes?
Well, the court just couldn't send someone to retrieve it because, Buckingham, like high-tech guy, right? High-tech, high-tech. Scooter computer. Got to get into the box. You scan your thumbprint.
Oh, right.
Had to be him.
Yeah.
And the judge was like, that's interesting. No, you cannot go.
I didn't see that.
And so Buckingham's like, all right, fine, I'm guilty. Like the judge called his bluff. Buckingham pleads guilty, which cracks me up. Like, fine, I give up.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be sentenced in the next month. He's facing 2 years in the clink. But after that, he'd be free and could still call himself Christopher Buckingham.
They just let him have the identity.
Which seems absolutely nuts to me.
That does seem nuts to me, too.
Yeah, whatever. So Sprigg, he's about to retire. And instead of saying, like, I'm too old for this ish,
that's like keeping the proceeds of your crime. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to keep the proceeds of your crime. He's like,
proceeds.
Oh, yeah, I got to keep my life.
He gets to be
created.
This little boy, yeah.
Lord Buckingham.
Sprigg's about to retire. You know what he does? He puts his back into it.
Oh.
He wanted one last score in the anti-crime way.
Yeah.
And he knew in his bones that Buckingham was hiding something big. And he had a limited amount of time to uncover it, so he got to work. So the cops released Buckingham's mugshot to the press and social media, and they asked the public for help in identifying this man. Tons of people called in, they wrote, and they were all dead ends or just garbage. And they're like, yeah, it's, Jason Bourne, like that kind of stuff.
I was having an affair with him from 1948 to 1952.
He is the head of the Burger King cartel.
I knew it.
I've said too much, click. But I'm telling you too, Buckingham is so nondescript.
Yeah.
Like he's like a sample identikit.
Sure.
Drawing, like he's, so
you
he looks like anybody.
Yeah.
The Mail on Sunday, the Daily Mail Sunday edition, sent reporters to Buckingham's neighborhood, and one of them convinced a neighbor who had an emergency key for Buckingham's place to hand it over so they could poke around.
Can they do
Remember,
that?
this is the era of like hacking voicemails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Okay. Like Pierce Morgan's going to hack your phone.
Right. So anyway, they found a brass bed, a television, and a wooden table. There was a box of unused fireworks in the kitchen, along with 2 chemical containers, contents unknown. Resting on the television was a pistol, a non-firing replica of the Walther P99 made famous by James Bond. The Burger King planted the fireworks. So
I guess once you're like hacking royalty, like what do they care about going into a lord's house?
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
Good call.
And it was a mess up in there. And I don't mean just like untidy. I mean, he owned the place, but it was in foreclosure. So he started just trashing it. like breaking things.
Really?
Which is such a weird thing that people do, like on
I've never
foreclosures.
gotten that, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a friend of mine bought a house in foreclosure, and they like ripped out the toilets, like pulled sinks from the wall.
Well, you know, when I used to be a house painter for a very long time,
Yeah.
and we used to paint industrial stuff. So I once painted in LA this church that was in the valley, right? But it was like the kind of church that they also have like an attached like a school area and a multi-purpose room and a bunch of other stuff that isn't the church. And as we were painting, they're paying us to paint it. They're over there taking the light fixtures out, the door handles off the doors, anything that they could harvest from this place that they were renting, they took. They took everything. We couldn't believe. We're just standing there like, we actually ended up calling the landlord because we're like, this is not right. We're witnesses to a crime.
There are no light bulbs.
They're gonna say something like, why didn't you call anyone? And we're like,
Right.
"Oh, we didn't think of it. I mean, they were out there. They were taking the baseboard off the walls.
You're kidding.
Yeah, just popping it off like, we can put this somewhere else.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
nuts to see.
And it was a church.
Yeah, and it was the bass player from Korn.
Wait, what?
It was his church. Not like he didn't own it, but he was a member. So there's all these pictures of him like all around, like big, like, you know, cardboard cutouts.
bury the lead on this one.
Yeah, so he was there. And he was
Cardboard cutouts of him in the church?
Exactly. Like you could like pose next to him in the church.
What?
It was wild, yeah. They had like they had like movies on YouTube. They were like cartoons for kids and stuff. Like they were like a hustler.
It was a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm still trying to process this.
The weird part for me was when they were trying to popping the baseboard off. I mean, it was weird. The
crazy.
light bulbs and was one thing, and the fixtures was another thing. The door handles was wild, but the baseboard is like, okay, you did not put that up.
Exactly. So Buckingham, that's wild. Buckingham, sentencing is approaching, and there's no leads. And on November 8th, 2005, he got sentenced to 21 months in prison.
Ooh.
And he was also, at this point, still refusing to divulge his true identity. And a few months later, he won an appeal, and his prison sentence was brought down to time served.
Wow.
I don't know. Out he went. But where?
Where, Elizabeth?
He was stateless. He had no real identity, and so he was remanded into the custody of UK immigration authorities. They thought better of this whole, you can still be Christopher.
I don't know how you allow that.
No, so
I mean, I'm rooting for the guy, but still.
a few months later, though, there was a break. Lindsay Buckingham was at the center of this, and I'm not talking about the Fleetwood Mac guitarist. I'm talking about his daughter.
Okay.
She got an email from a guy named Kevin Stopford.
Oh.
According to Lost magazine, quote, the subject line read, "Your father, I know him." Attached was a full-color family photograph showing a younger version of her father, blonde and tan, surrounded by brothers and sisters. Kevin Stopford also emailed officers at the Frontier Crime Unit, insisting that he knew Buckingham's real name. The person who claims to be Christopher Edward Buckingham is known to me as Charles Albert Stopford. His current alias has been known to my mother for many years, and more recently to my brothers and sisters. So she didn't tell anyone about the phone call, the mom.
Well, you know.
Yeah, it's her baby.
She knows where her boy is.
Yeah. So according to NBC News, quote, over the years, family members in Florida had searched for their brother using his name, but recently one did an internet search using the name Buckingham and spotted a story in the London Times about a jailed man in England calling himself Lord Buckingham. They got in touch with British authorities.
Yes.
So you can imagine they're just like, what has ever happened to him?
Totally.
And like,
then they find out he's a fake
and
lord.
then the mom's like, well, okay, a little something funny. Like, I don't know, 20-something years ago, got a call.
I should have told you guys this, but...
Yeah. So Lindsay told Cosmo that she was shocked that to hear that her dad was American, because he was always just like ripping on Americans and calling them, quote, stupid, brash, loud idiots. That's why he left, I guess. His philandering father told the Guardian newspaper, quote, Charles always had an obsession with the English, maybe because he knew that my ancestry is English. Yeah, it's all about you, dude.
Sure, make it about you. Find a way to make it about you.
The Brits, they sent Buckingham's fingerprints to the U.S., and of course there was a hit. He's confirmed as Charles Stopford, and now they just had to deport him. And so he's Florida's problem again. This wasn't an immediate process. And so while waiting for that deportation, a bunch of his brothers and sisters headed over the pond to visit him in jail.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, I mean, imagine
Family
this.
trip.
You don't know where your brother's been all these years, and you just have these like vague stories from the mom. But then everything cuts off.
Yeah.
You know, in 86.
And I guess they probably still loved him in that way that they wanted to see him. And and also, it's just fun to go to England.
And why not? So Jody, the ex-wife, she got wind of this and called Buckingham to give him a heads up. And he freaked out.
I bet. That was my thought.
Yeah, he told her that he had amnesia since the car accident in France and had no memories of his life before becoming Buckingham. And not just that, he also said he only kind of remembered being married to her, and he had no idea who his kids were. So Jody pointed out, like, you know what, we've spoken to each other and seen each other, kids included, since the accident, and there was no amnesia then. And
it's transient amnesia.
I don't know why she bothers. Like, this guy lies like he breathes. July of 2006, they put him on a flight to Orlando. Him and a bunch of Disney heads. And according to the Orlando Sentinel newspaper, quote, upon his return, he hid in Orlando International Airport's terminal, telling long estranged family members through a cell phone that he wouldn't greet them until members of the media left. Stopford's family left the airport without a reunion.
Oh.
Yeah. So back on American soil, he did not want to be Charles Stopford. He wanted to be Christopher Buckingham.
He's like crawling out of his own skin.
He made people call him Christopher. He's like, that's my name. And he still used the English accent, which, to be fair, he did live there for decades, and so he probably couldn't shake it even if he wanted to.
Yeah, he's been faking it for so long. He's made it.
Yeah, and so a reporter asked him why he did it. Like, why did you invent this new identity? And he's like, you know what? I have amnesia from an accident, and I can't remember.
He went with that.
Yeah, he's
the laziest liar.
loving that. It was just a lob to him.
Yeah,
like, you can use this forever. So he got banned from travel to both the UK and Switzerland.
Whoa.
And once in the States, he acted like his UK family didn't exist, cut all contact. He did keep in touch with that Swiss nurse, Anita Keller.
He finally got to be his dad.
And then when asked about how Anita was handling all this, Buckingham told Lost magazine, quote, she really didn't pass any judgment. She was confused and a little upset, but in the end, she said she didn't care. She always knew me as Christopher anyway, so there was no change for her. She just thinks it's good that I'm seeing my family finally and wants me to get back to Switzerland as soon as possible.
Sir, I'd like to hear her side of the story.
Yeah. By fall of 2007, he managed to do just that. Like, despite the ban, he made his way to Zurich.
On a new fake identity?
Who knows? Lost magazine laid it all out. Quote, he had legally obtained a U.S. passport in his adopted identity, but lied about his birthday on the application, writing in that of the real Christopher Buckingham rather than his own. From there, he had simply boarded a plane and flown to Zurich. The Swiss raised no fuss at his return. He told them he'd been traveling abroad. They took him at his word, and just like that, he was back.
The Swiss.
Yeah. So for real, he moved in with Anita in the same place they'd lived before, got his old job back as the computer security consultant, went back to calling himself Lord Buckingham. Absolutely nothing had changed. And I'll leave you with these bits from the Lost magazine interview. Quote, over the years, he had successfully passed himself off as a British aristocrat, Russian royalty, and a German businessman, a retired Cold War spy, and even a dead man. However, when asked why he didn't use any of these after his arrest, he said, in the end, I'm not criminally minded for the intent of criminality. And I mean, you have to face the music someday. If the hunters ever got too close, Buckingham assured me he was prepared to disappear again. He was certain he would leave no traces. I have vanished many times, he told me. No one's sure where he is today or what he's up to, but I'm sure it's ridiculous.
I bet.
Zaron, what's your ridiculous takeaway?
This is one of the rare ones where the guy does a lot. He basically doesn't fake his death, but he just, assumes a new identity. And I kept thinking when you got to the LLC part that he was going to go for broke in criminality and like amass a fortune of millions, ill-gotten gains, maybe rip off a charity or two. And it's like, nope, I just want to be a lord. Yeah. I mean, he's just like playing dress up.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
at the criminal level of dress up. This is make-believe to the level of you can go to prison for make-believe, sir.
Right.
It's wild. So what's yours, Elizabeth?
Again, I don't, the whole psychology of this is just boggles my mind. You can change your name legally. Yeah. And then you can just go around calling yourself this thing and, but on your official records I don't know. There are other ways to do this where you're not lying and breaking laws.
I almost changed my name because my father and I have the same name and we're both writers. So to make things easy on the internet, I was going to change my name. And I told him that. He was like, no. I was like,
really?
Okay, then I guess I'm not going to change my name.
He wants the namesake.
Yeah, he's like, I named you that for a reason. I was like, oh, I undid your work. But out of respect, I kept the name.
You know what I think would top this off well? A talk back.
Ooh, those are always fun.
Talk backs. Oh my God, did he just say that?
OMG.
Hey, Zaron and Elizabeth. I love your show. But one thing I just have to say, because it's frustrating me, is I don't know how you put up with it, Elizabeth. Every time you try to say anything, Zaron's talking over you. And it gets frustrating for the listener. So no offense. Still love you. Take care.
I spoke too soon. They're not always fun.
That's good constructive
No, but
criticism.
honestly,
so this is a conversation. Like, it's a conversation. Like, when I'm telling a story, I have bullet point notes that I hit, and maybe like the quotes are written out. But the rest of it is just us talking.
And we know each other really well. So,
but if it's, I can understand, like, if it's difficult to listen to. It's not difficult for me, but, Well,
I'm glad you say that. And I do, by the way, I apologize for that tendency. I come from a family where people talk over each other, and Elizabeth does not. And so she's gotten used to me doing it and doesn't necessarily take offense to it because it's not meant other than just excitement. Like, I can expect her to keep talking even though I'm talking. I'm sure as a listener, that can be frustrating. So I apologize to listeners who that frustrates. And I am working on it. I constantly tell myself not to do it. But I get very excited talking to Elizabeth. That's why we have so much fun doing the show. And part of my excitement is to start talking or to finish a thought she's having with like the word of, like, I think I did it today with heraldry. I was like, oh yeah, heraldry, because I was so excited. I'm like a kid. I'm like a puppy, and I just can't help myself. So
your
I do
excitement
apologize.
is appealing in that. And that's why I think it doesn't bother me. But also, you made a good point, is that there are families that talk over each other and families that don't.
Yes.
And your family is definitely a crosstalk and like loud back and forth family. And I come from very mellow. Yeah,
you guys
quiet,
take turns speaking and stuff. No, like, I'm used to listening. If I don't have at least 3 people talking at once in a family function, it's like somebody is somewhat upset. Like and I'm really good at tracking 3 different conversations at the same time, which makes a lot of people really nervous. But it actually makes me feel calm.
I sometimes think it's like also like your family is from the East Coast.
Yes, it's very much an East Coast.
And it's an East Coast, West Coast, because we're these like long time Californians.
Big open spaces. You don't need to shout. Also, you come in sometimes to the office before we do the show, and I will be listening to a radio show on my phone. I will be watching something about fantasy football on my computer, and I'll be talking like to somebody. Like, I can have lots of conversations. So to me, they're just layers as opposed to like there's one thing happening.
Yeah, and
like
I got to do the one thing I can't do.
And I respect that.
Or it's like when I'm driving and it gets crazy, I got to turn the radio off.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to park. Turn the radio off. I know. I've seen it. But once again, I'm sorry, listeners. I am working on it, though.
But I do like the fact that we've got like good constructive criticism.
Sure,
and that,
of course. I definitely like that.
Not ripping in on us, but at the same time pointing out what they like or don't like. I mean, let's not start that as a trend of everyone telling us what's wrong. Because then we're all going to get the talkbacks of Elizabeth doesn't know how to say words. I'm like, hey, thank you.
Yeah. Aim them at me. I think I'm better because I know I'm already messing up.
I'm a delicate flower. That's it for today. You can find us online at ridiculouscrime.com. We're also at Ridiculous Crime on Blue Sky and Instagram, and we're on YouTube at Ridiculous Crime Pod. You can email us at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. And as always, leave a talkback on the free iHeart app. Reach out. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by Lord Dave Couston, the 9th Earl of Ice Cubington. Starring Annalise Rutger as Judith. Research is by Dame Marissa Brown and Count Jabari Davis. The theme song is by Orlando Area Methodist Minister Thomas Lee and Orlando Area Burger King Day Manager Travis Dutton. Host wardrobe is provided by Botany 500. Guest hair and makeup by Sparkle Shot and Mr. Andre. Executive producers are Swiss LLC freelance executive officer Ben Bolin and Bavarian ski instructor Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.